Really handy tool, this circle of fifths, because you can see things at a glance and you can understand the important relationships, the important chord progressions in music, and why they're important. I want to show you how you can learn all of the basics of harmony from one simple tool called the circle of fifths. So here it is. We start at 12 o'clock with C major and A minor, and as we go clockwise, we're moving up by 5. So from C to G is 5, a fifth, C, D, E, F, G, and from G to D is a fifth, and from D to A is a fifth, and so on until we get all the way around. If we go counterclockwise, we're going by 4 there, and we have the relative minor keys in the middle. So A minor, E minor is a fifth above A minor, B minor is a fifth above E minor, and so on. And we go all the way around, so that's the relative major and minor there. And then we have the key signatures on the outside of this circle here. So how can we use this circle of fifths to learn about harmony? There are very important relationships that are revealed in the circle. I'm going to go through 3 important relationships. First one is called dominant and tonic. So this is where you go from the chord 5 to chord 1 in a key. So because this circle is moving up in fifths, all we have to do is take the note above. So if we're starting on C, we go up 1 to G, that's our 5 chord. So we can go from G to C, and that is a really important relationship in music. Sometimes that's called a perfect cadence, but it definitely has much more function than just being a perfect cadence. In many ways, it's the basis of most of Western tonal music. So we can also do that with the minor keys. We can go from E major to A minor as well. And just bear in mind that the 5 chord, which we also call the dominant, is usually a major chord as well. So we'll always make it a major chord. So then we can go from D to G. So D. And then we can go from B to E minor. And then we can go from A to D. And we can go from F sharp major to B minor. And so on. We can just keep going through the whole circle, and you can work on your dominant and tonic for every key relatively quickly. I will point out that guitar music tends to use these keys here, the sharp keys up to E from C to E, and their relative minors. We don't typically use many flat keys, and the reason for that, a big reason for that, is because flat keys cut out our open strings very quickly on the guitar. So there's one important foundational progression that you need to know. It's very helpful to know dominant and tonic because it's absolutely crucial. It's used in just about any piece of music that you're playing or any song you're playing in some way. The next progression we can learn is the primary chord progression, 1, 4, 5, 1. So now we're going to include the chord before the key and after the key. So if C major is our 1, we're going to go down to 4, F, and we're going to go up to 5, G, and then we'll go back to 1. So we're going to go 1, and then we'll go 4, and we'll go 5, and then we'll go back to 1, like that. All right, so if we're starting in the key of C, and then we go down to F, up to G, and back to C. Those are the primary chords, 1, 4, 5, 1. Also incredibly foundational to Western tonal music. We can do the same with the minor key. So we start with A minor, then we go to D minor, go to E major. Remember, the dominant is always major. Then we go back to A. So it's the same pattern, 1, 4, 5, 1. A minor, D minor, E major, A minor. Then we can go across, starting at G. So 1 would be G, 4 would be C, 5 will be D, and back to G. So G, 1, C, 4, D, 5, and G, 1. And then we can start in E minor, same thing, E minor, and then the 4 chords, A minor, up to B, and then E minor. And once again, once you have that pattern established, you can just do that. You could go around the circle, or you can just choose. You know, if you say I'm going to start on E, well then you go 4, back down 1, counterclockwise 1, go 5 clockwise up to B, and then back to E. All right, so there's our second core chord progression, the primary chord. The final chord progression I want to show you is sometimes called the 4-chord medley, or the Axis of Awesome chord progression. And it's made up of 4 different chords. The chords are 1, 5, 6, 4, 1. You can see how on the circle it kind of creates a diamond shape. We go from 1 to 5 to 6 to 4 to 1. And now this only works in major keys too. So you'd only be focusing on the major key row here. But let's have a listen. So we go from 1, C, go across to 5, we go down to the minor, A minor 6, and to 4. See how they're all the neighboring chords. 1, 5, 6, 4, 1. Okay, so one way to do this is you could count. You could say, okay, I'm in the key of C, so I'm going to go to 5, C, D, E, F, G, and then I'm going to go to 6, which will be A, and I'm going to go down to 4, C, D, E, F. But sometimes that can be a bit tedious. So using the circle, you can really quickly, at a glance, visual glance, you can see what those chords are, because it's just the same process starting on any key. So if we're in G, we're going to go 1, we're going to go 5, 6, 4, 1. Really easy, really quick way to do it. 1, 5, 6, 4. So that's G, D, E minor, C. Okay, and then we can just do the same thing for any other key, any other major key. Just draw that diamond shape and you've got it. And if you can play that chord progression, you can play many songs. Hundreds of songs are made from that chord progression. If not in that order, they could be in a different order. So really handy tool, this circle of fifths, because you can see things at a glance and you can understand the important relationships, the important chord progressions in music, and why they're important. So I hope this has been a helpful tool for you. Please come and join us on The Creative Classical Guitarist, where we go through this and much more, and learn how to utilize music theory to make it fun, engaging, practical, and of use, where you can compose, improvise, arrange. And we have regular live sessions during the week. We have master classes, we have theory, composition workshops, and there's tons of books and scores and everything, and exercises and quick practical tasks laid out for you. And you can take pathways. So if you want to focus on sight reading or composing or harmony, you can just choose a pathway and follow the guided lessons. This video will really only be mostly useful for you if you practice through the progressions. So it's one thing to watch someone do it, but a totally other thing if you yourself get on the guitar and actually go through these 3 progressions that I've outlined. Dominant and tonic, perfect cadence, sometimes called perfect cadence. Second one was the primary chords. The third one, the Axis of Awesome chord progression. All right, so enjoy that, have fun.